Comic fam, it's that time for me to share with you what I actually picked up on New Comic Book Day. I'm going to go through the comics. I'm going to give you little brief reviews without any spoilers. I read probably 99% of these books. Maybe a couple I didn't read because they're reprints or just haven't caught up to the series yet. But we're going to get into the books right after this. Welcome back, comic fam. I'm glad to see you're here. I appreciate that each and every one of you take the time out of your day to come watch these videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, share the video if you want. And if you don't want, no biggie. Anyway, a couple updates. One, a while back I did a 100 subscriber giveaway. Don't worry, guys, I forgot about that. It is coming. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a live show or just pre-record something and put it out there. But don't worry, that is coming. I would like to do a live show, do some extra giveaways, stuff like that. Second, what is second on the list? This is why I got to write stuff out. Always forget. Second, just look for new content from me. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, some Fridays, some weekends. Mondays, I think I'm going to start dropping my What's in the Box series. Tuesdays will be comic previews. Thursdays will be when I give you the new comics that I bought with a slight little review, unless I could drop that Wednesday night. And then on the weekends, it'll be conversational pieces with the crew. So, let's get into the comics. Wasted enough of your time. Alright, guys. So, I am a sucker for these reprint Thors. So, with that, we got Thor number 2. The 5th printing. I know I shouldn't be buying these. It's just interior art. But sometimes this interior art is so awesome. I mean, Nick Klein is doing such an awesome job with the art that I can't resist. So this is Thor number 2 5th printing. Who knows? Thor number 2 is a big key. Maybe the 5th printing pops off. I'm sure there's plenty of print runs on these reprints these days. More than there used to be anyway. So with that said, we got Thor number 5. The 4th print. After I bought the 5th print of 2, I just couldn't stop myself from buying the 5th. This was actually a print, if you watch my preview video, which I'll put the little link for it up there somewhere. You'll find it. Maybe it's over there. I don't know. Look up there. Anyway, we got Thor number 6. This was an interior splash page towards the end of the book. I enjoyed it immensely. It is a wraparound cover. It's got the Infinity Hammer. It was an awesome piece, splash page. I was going to buy this as a cover regardless of when it came out. So that was definitely on my list. Now we have what should be a Ryan Stegman cover, the 3rd printing of Venom 26. Not should be, it is. I was going to say, I think it's an original and not from inside the book, but I could be wrong. Anyway, this is the only art related to, I don't know where I'm going with that. No, that's totally wrong what I was about to say. That's on Venom 28. But anyway, that's a good segue into our next book, Venom 28. Boom. Venom 28. Really good book. Stegman is not on this book. Gideon did the artwork. It is part 3 of Venom Beyond. It's really cool. We get some insight or the reveal of the identities of who Virus is and Codex. We also meet the rest of the symbiote, we're going to call him the Symbiote Freedom Force. Codex is not a good guy in this series. Basically, it's a world full of people controlled with symbiotes. We get to see who Virus is and who Virus becomes in this book. We learn who Codex identity is, and we get a little battle with the Venom Freedom Fighters. We learn who they are, their identities. I will tell you there are a lot of cool characters in here, a lot of surprising characters. I'll drop one name. Cletus Cassidy is in the book. Good guy, bad guy, who knows? Read the book, find out. And with that said, here is Venom 28. This is the B cover. This is the Stegman cover. So if you enjoy Stegman's Venom, which I do very much, boom, this is the cover you want to get. You still get a little Stegman action in the book. And I believe in the entirety of the run, even when Ryan Stegman hasn't drawn a book, hasn't done the interiors, they have at least released a cover, whether it's an A, B, C ratio variant. So I believe with every issue of Venom, there has been some sort of Stegman cover at least associated with it. All right, next up, I haven't read this yet. I don't have number 1. This was kind of a spec buy. I don't think it's a really great spec. I don't know, I just kind of picked it up. Part of it was I did want to get some comics with the Chadwick Boseman Rest in Peace or Rest in Power black label on the top. So kind of why I picked it up, besides for the little spec aspect of it. Once I get number 1, I'll probably read through it and see if I want to get issue number 3. But I believe this is the first name of the first appearance of the title character, Antithesis. All right, well, this is going to be funny. We're going to cut this out of the video. We'll put this in the bloopers. But anyway, first appearance of the cover villain, Antithesis. Next up, we got Daredevil number 22. This also has the Rest in Power Chadwick Boseman label. It's really good. This is an Iron Man Daredevil helmet on the cover. Not actually, or does not actually appear in the comic, but we do have an appearance by Tony Stark Iron Man in the book. It's really good. I believe the Daredevil series reads a lot more like an indie than something part of the larger Marvel comic book universe. But I do like the characters in here, the character development. You actually feel for the people in here. You feel for those characters. So I enjoy the book a lot. It's a lot more about interpersonal relationships than, you know, busting up the bad guys, shooting missiles, etc. So I like it. It's a good book. I'm going to stick with it. Good job, Chip Zdarsky. All right. Next up, we got Juggernaut number 1. This is the Scotty Young cover. All the other covers in the comic shop I went to were kind of busted, so this was the best of what was there. Not that I don't enjoy Scotty Young. It's a cool Scotty Young cover. It's not his best, not his worst. Excellent book, actually. For me, this was a surprise or a shocker. I figured I'd pick it up, give it a try. Fabian Nicieza is back writing an X-Men book. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. Surprising. I had low expectations. I know now for a fact I will be picking up issue 2. Juggernaut has a lot of depth to his character. There's a lot of cool stories in there. We've got a mention of magic in there. You know, the New Mutant, not magic, you know, card tricks. You got the first appearance of a character, D-Cell, who slows down kinetic energy. So if you know anything about Juggernaut, you know that's kind of his antithesis. It's just going to be a running joke because I can't say the word. Anyway, it's kind of the yin to his yang. So there's a lot of cool things in here going on. And at the end of the book, you'll be surprised at who the Juggernaut is supposedly fighting in the next issue. I say supposedly because we haven't got the next issue yet, so we don't know. But the villain of the next issue, for me, was like, oh damn. But I could see it. I could see it happening. So I'm really looking forward to that battle, should it happen. So, surprise book of the week, Juggernaut. You won't be disappointed. And last but not least, we got the Invincible She-Hulk. I managed to get the Alex Ross Timeless cover, so awesome find. I will say that they did have, and if I can, I will go back and look for it. I don't know why I didn't grab it. They did have the Silver Surfer Timeless for this one, for the Fantastic Four book. So if you see that book out there, I would grab it because it doesn't seem like they're readily available. Like they're a little harder to find than normal, from what I've been seeing in videos and talking to the community. But anyway, back to She-Hulk, Mortal She-Hulk, number 1. She is dealing with her immortality in this book. So it's definitely another one of those introspective books where you get a peek inside of the character's thought process. So you're getting a peek inside the mind of the immortal She-Hulk. There is some cameo appearances in here. Wolverine makes a stop in here. Thor is in the book. Definitely worth a read, especially if you're feeling like you need a reason to connect with the immortal She-Hulk. This will give you that reason. It's written by the same team that does Immortal Hulk. So you've got Al Ewing and you've got Bennett on here. So I think it's worth a read, and I'm just going to drop it right now. This is my read of the week, The Immortal She-Hulk. So go ahead, give that one a shot. And if for anything, just get it for the cover. Alright, switching gears, moving on. We're going to DC. We've got Batman Beyond number 47. Didn't get to read it yet. But guys, what I will tell you about this is Dan Jurgens and Sean Chen. It's Sean Chen. It is Sean Chen. Are doing an excellent book here. It is being canceled by DC, so I don't know if I would tell you to jump on it, maybe get the trades. It's gotten really good. Dan Jurgens is writing a really good story. Sales for this book have actually gone up, so I don't know why DC's canceling it, but they're doing their own thing right now. Sean Chen giving you excellent interior artwork, and this cover is actually a Dan Mora cover, so that's awesome. I love Dan Mora. I love his interiors. I love his covers. So if you know anything about Dan Mora, he's just an awesome artist. That's really all I was trying to say. Next up, that was somebody actually dinging me to agree with what I just said. Next up, we got Death Metal, Speed Metal, number 1 by Joshua Williamson, who has been writing The Flash and took over on Justice League recently. So, really, it's a good book. I think we could have got away without having this. This could have been like 3 or 4 pages in one of the Death Metal issues. But otherwise, pretty cool. If you like The Flash, if you like any of The Flash, if you like the Flash family, it's worth a book. It's worth a read. It's worth picking up this book to read. Just to see the dynamic between them, to see how Wally West and Barry Allen's relationship is kind of morphing, to see how important Wally West is to this universe. But you know, it didn't. For me, I felt like it could have just been another part of one of the regular issues of Death Metal. So I'm not gonna poo-poo it. It's not a bad book. I just didn't think it brought enough to move the story forward. And we do have the mention of the Morbius chair in this issue. With all that said, though, folks, I still managed to grab me a copy of the Death Metal Speed Metal 1 Peach Momoko 1 in 25 variant, which I thought was an awesome cover. Didn't think I was going to be able to grab one. Didn't pre-order it or anything. Totally was off my radar. Been busy. And my comic book shop owner came through, so awesome. Now we're moving to the indies. Again, sucker for second print, third print, fourth print covers. Spawn 309, second print. If you watch these videos and you remember any of these videos or my last preview video, from last week, you know I actually purchased this first print. So this is the second print. The only difference is Spawn is green instead of red. Why I got it, can't really tell you. I do love the Gunslinger Spawn. Ninja Spawn, I think, is coming out next week, by the way, guys. But Gunslinger, he's kind of got a cult following. So I got the second print. It's not like I missed out on the first print. I just got the second print. Speaking of second printing, still on them, we've got the second printing of We Only Find Them When They Are Dead. Got it right. It's a really long title. But it's a really good book. It was a really good start to the series. But this is a Dan Mora cover. So, second printing, Dan Mora cover. I picked it up because, like I said, I like Dan Mora. Good artist. Does Once in Future too. Check that out. With Kieran Gillen, excellent team. Next up from IDW, we have Canto 2, Issue 2, The Hollow Men. Really good story. This is a story for the family. You can read this with your children, read it with whoever, significant other. I think everybody will enjoy this. Very much a fantasy world, very much Wizard of Oz feel. I mean, as you can see, there's some scarecrows hanging on some pikes there. So, really good story. Kanto's on his way to take on the Shrouded Man to stop him from, ending the life of his people. It's a really touching story about heart. So in this story, Kanto goes looking for the help of one of his friends from the original series. Finds her. Her village has kind of been ransacked by the Shrouded Man. Her bravery is wavering, and Kanto is really like the bravest guy in the book, him and his crew. And they're just like, you know what? We can do this against all odds. So it's really a story about when everything seems hopeless, to just keep pushing. And I like the message. So Canto 2, Issue 2, worth a pickup. Go get Issue 1. If you haven't read the original Canto, I would try to get that in trade. Or get the issues. I think it was only 5 issues long. But definitely worth a read. And definitely something you can share with younger people, older people, significant others. It's not very risque. And now, last but not least, from Image, we have Undiscovered Country number 8. Good. It's good. It's like a reintroduction. So, we kind of ended a story arc, I think around 6. 7 starts a new story arc, throws us into a new land. Lots of action happening in that one. This one is more of an establishing book. So this will establish us where we are now in the Pacific Northwest of this bordered off United States. So this one's given us a lot of history, a lot of information, some new characters. So it's an intro. It's really setting the scene. So with that said, very good book for a book that sets the scene. Not a ton of action per se, but definitely a lot of info, a lot of information in this book. So if you're on this book, if you're reading this book, it's definitely a key book to keep up with what's going on. So anyway, guys, those were my pickups for this week. Again, my read of the week is that Immortal She-Hulk number 1. The Immortal Hulk team doing an awesome job on that. My surprise of the week is the Juggernaut number 1. Definitely worth a pickup. And then one of my favorite artists, Dan Mora, gave me 2 covers this week. So I am jumping out of my seat. Did manage to get a SPEEDMETAL 1 in 25 variant. Peach Bamoko, very cool. And Canto 2, perfectly great read for the family. Little ones, old ones, me, you, me, him, her, everybody. Without a shadow of doubt, Canto 2 is for everybody. So do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. Support your local comic shops. I will see you next time. Peace. Oh, and remember, new content, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Weekends, we got The Crew. Mondays, probably What's in the Box. And the 100 subscriber video is coming up. Peace again. Antithesis.